Today is game one of the NBA Finals as the Miami Heat get ready to take on the Denver Nuggets. Both teams have guys with ties to North Carolina.
Yeah, that's right. WFMY News 2's Jaelen Gilkey got reaction from a couple Triad coaches who used to coach two of the Heat players.
Yeah, guys, this year's NBA Finals matchup features four guys with ties back here in North Carolina, but the Miami Heat's Caleb Martin and Bam Adebayo hold a special place in their heart for the Triad. And today I spoke with two coaches that know these young men very well. As the Miami Heat make the push for their fourth NBA championship in franchise history, two of their most important players once called the Triad home.
You know, Caleb just knew that if you put in the time and the work, you know, he would get an opportunity and he would take full advantage of it, and obviously he has.
Mike Absher coached Caleb Martin for his first 3 years of high school at Davie County, and he says from the very first time he saw Caleb and his twin brother Cody play, he knew they were destined for greatness.
You know, even when they played in the rec league in Knoxville, everybody was talking about them. And then, you know, again, when they got to middle school, obviously I saw them play a ton, and you're like, yeah, these guys, they're different. And, you know, obviously then I was fortunate enough to coach both of them, their freshman, sophomore, and junior years at Davie County High School, which was tremendous.
After going undrafted in 2019 and being cut by the Hornets in 2021, Caleb Martin has made a name for himself down in South Beach.
To be able to hit those shots and to make those plays and to defend at such a high level in the middle of the biggest stage is just tremendous. So, yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. It's been a lot of fun to watch.
Absher isn't the only former coach from our area beaming with pride. Former High Point Christian boys basketball coach Brandon Clifford knows exactly how he's feeling.
He's earned everything. He's obviously been blessed, but I mean, he has earned everything that he's gotten, and it couldn't happen to a better human being.
Adebayo moved to High Point to join the Cougars for his senior season.
This was all talked about. You know, we had a lot of conversations and trips back home, you know, when I take him home to see mom on the weekends, just about, you know, what he wants out of this game. And it was always about winning with him. And so to see him get to a finals for a second time, you know, and then, you know, win an Olympic gold medal. I mean, he is, you know, he was a starter on the USA Olympic team. I mean, he's become one of the best players in the world.
No matter what Bam accomplishes on the court, Coach Clifford is more proud of the man he's become.
Watching him on TV, you know, sitting in the stands, watching him play, that's a great experience. But then just knowing him and knowing who he is as a person and what he's doing outside of basketball, that's what really, you know, what I hold dear to my heart.
Tonight at 8:30, Martin and Adebayo will look to move one game closer to being named NBA champions, and the Triad will be pulling for them.
It was such a cool story, and really, Caleb Martin. I mean, what a journey that he has been on. I mean, after his stint with Charlotte, and to be able to come back with Miami and just do so well, it's great to see.
It is super cool, man. You know, Cody was fortunate enough to be drafted in the end of the second round that year. Caleb went undrafted, was signed by the Hornets. He made the roster, back and forth with Greensboro and Charlotte. Gets cut, then he finds a landing spot in Miami, and now he's just carved out a space for himself to now. I mean, with the way he's played in the playoffs, it looks like he's going to get a long-term deal worth a considerable amount of money. So
I love hearing the sound from the coach, because that has to be a really, warm feeling to know you coach this person and they're super successful and like internationally known. That has to be a great feeling.
And Coach Absher just mentioned just the amount of work that Caleb has put in since, you know, he's known him when no one looked. And when he wasn't drafted, and you know, through the ups and downs and everything and all the adversity he's dealt with in his life, he knew that this moment would come for this young man. And now he's just so happy to see it. He actually got kind of choked up when we were talking. It was pretty cool.
I'm really glad you did the story though, because you know, if you don't have a rooting interest, imagine we don't have a lot of Heat fans locally. We don't have a lot of Denver Nugget fans, right? I don't care about either team. Now I'm going to root for the Heat like the whole way.
Absolutely.
And they're the underdog anyway, 8th seed in the finals.
Exactly.
What are you talking
I mean, they've had
about?
such a great story coming out to play in.
Yeah.
Just earning everything, just grinding away, knocking off all the top teams in the Eastern Conference, and now here they are faced up against the #1 seed in the entire NBA.
Everybody thought they could take them down.
All right, go Heat. Jaelen, thanks.